Stay here. Do not rush away from this moment. Let the noise fall back into the distance. Breathe. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet weight inside your chest. Not sharp enough to scream. Not soft enough to ignore. It has followed you through crowded rooms, through empty nights, through conversations where you nodded. While something inside you slowly folded inward, you learned how to smile while breaking, how to function while fading, how to survive while feeling unseen. And you wonder sometimes if this is all life is meant to be. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." But no one tells you how weak you feel. Before that strength is found, no one tells you how lonely the road inward can be. You were not born broken. You were shaped, pressed, pulled by expectations that were never yours. You were taught to chase approval before you were taught to understand yourself. So you ran, you chased, you proved, and still the emptiness stayed. Listen closely now. This pain is not a mistake, it is a message. Pain arrives when something false can no longer be carried. The Stoics understood this. They did not run from discomfort. They sat with it, they questioned it, they learned from it. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish for events to happen as they do happen, and your life will go smoothly." But smooth does not mean easy. Smooth is the river that accepts the stone. Easy is the mind that never grows. You have been resisting what is, fighting reality with hope that it will bend. But reality does not bend. It teaches. Every time life stripped something from you, a person, a dream, a version of yourself, it was asking a question. Who are you without this? You tried to answer by holding tighter, by clinging, by refusing to let go, and it hurt. Of course it did. Seneca warned, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." You replayed the moments, the words you should have said, the choices you wish you had made. Your mind became a courtroom, where you were both judge and accused, no rest, no mercy. But hear this truth now, clear, unshakable. The past cannot be argued into changing. It does not respond to guilt. It does not soften for regret. It only offers lessons, and lessons demand humility. You are allowed to forgive yourself, not because you were perfect, but because you were human, a human acting with the tools you had at the time. You did not know what you know now, Marcus Aurelius reminded himself. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Others see you. You cannot control who leaves. You cannot control the timing of loss, but you can control the meaning you assign. You can decide whether pain becomes poison or medicine. Stoicism is not coldness. It is clarity. It does not ask you to feel less. It asks you to feel honestly, to observe your emotions without becoming enslaved by them. Right now, notice your breath. Not to escape the pain, but to sit beside it, let it exist. Without naming it as failure, this moment is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that you are alive. You survived days you once thought would end you. You stood back up. Even when no one clapped, you kept going. When quitting felt logical, that quiet endurance, that is strength. Epictetus taught, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Reaction is the birthplace of freedom. Between stimulus and response, there is a space in that space. Lives your power. Most people never enter it. They react, they explode, they collapse. You are learning to pause. That pause, that single breath before response, is where self-mastery begins. The mind wants certainty. Life offers none. So the mind creates fear, stories, worst-case futures that never arrive. You have lived inside those imagined disasters for years, and yet, here you are, still standing. Seneca wrote, "He who suffers before it is necessary, suffers more than is necessary." The storm you fear is often only a cloud, and even storms pass. You are not behind in life. There is no universal clock you are failing. Comparison is a thief disguised as motivation. Others are walking different paths, with different burdens. You cannot see. Your only task is to walk yours with integrity, slowly, deliberately. You do not need to rush becoming whole. Wholeness is not an achievement. It is a practice. Every day you choose not to abandon yourself. Every day you choose truth over comfort. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Being one does not mean perfection, it means alignment, doing the next right thing. Even when no one notices, especially then, silence will test you. Loneliness will question your worth. But solitude is not emptiness, it is space, and space allows you to hear your own voice again, not the one shaped by expectations, the original one, the one that knows what matters. You were never meant to control the world, only yourself, and that is the hardest work there is. So sit with the discomfort, let it teach, let it pass through, without letting it define you. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who hears them. You are not your pain. You are the one who endures it. And endurance, quiet and uncelebrated, is how peace is built. Not in grand victories, but in small moments of restraint, of honesty, of courage. Breathe again. The path forward does not require certainty, only commitment. To show up, to learn, to let go. When holding on only bleeds you dry, you are allowed to rest. Without quitting, you are allowed to change. Without apologizing, you are allowed to be unfinished, and still worthy. The Stoics did not promise happiness, they promised freedom. Freedom from being ruled by what you cannot control. Freedom to stand calm in the center of chaos. That freedom is not given, it is earned, thought by thought, choice by choice. And right now, in this quiet moment, you are earning it. Do not look for an ending yet. This journey does not conclude with a single realization. It unfolds like dawn, slow, unannounced. You may still feel tired. That is allowed. Growth does not arrive with fireworks. It arrives with honesty. There will be days when discipline feels heavy, when your old habits call you back. With familiar comfort, do not hate yourself for hearing them. The mind remembers what once kept it safe. But safety is not the same as freedom. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Simple words, difficult living. Integrity is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not need witnesses. It is choosing restraint. When anger feels justified, it is choosing silence. When ego wants applause, you will be misunderstood. That is part of the cost. Not everyone will recognize the discipline behind your calm. Some will mistake it for weakness. Let them, Epictetus taught. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Peace requires humility. The need to be right is often the loudest chain we wear. Release it. There is strength in not defending yourself against every misunderstanding. You do not owe the world constant explanations, you owe yourself consistency. Watch how your mind reacts. When things do not go as planned, that reaction is your teacher. Do not suppress it. Observe it. Anger rises because control was expected. Sadness lingers because attachment was deep. Neither makes you weak, they make you aware. Awareness is the first victory. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." You are proving yourself now, in silence, in patience, when no one is watching. This is where character is formed, not when life is easy, but when you choose virtue. Over impulse, again and again, there will be moments when you feel alone in your discipline. Remember, most people choose distraction over reflection. You chose differently. That path feels empty at first, because it is uncluttered. Stillness can feel like loneliness. To a mind addicted to noise, give it time. Soon the quiet becomes home. You will begin to notice how little you truly need, how peace does not depend on outcomes, how joy is lighter when it is not demanded. Marcus Aurelius said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." You are learning how to return there. Each breath is a doorway. Each pause, a reminder that you are not required to react immediately to everything. Life will test this. Someone will provoke you. Circumstances will disappoint you. Plans will collapse. This is not failure. This is training. Every challenge asks the same question. Will you respond consciously or habitually? Mastery is choosing consciousness. You will stumble. You will forget. You will react. Forgive yourself quickly. Return faster. Progress is not linear. It is faithful, Seneca warned. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. You are not late. You are learning, and learning requires patience. With imperfection, your worth does not rise. When you succeed, it does not fall. When you fail, it remains untouched by opinion, unmoved by outcome. That truth, once felt, cannot be taken from you. Sit with it. You do not need to conquer the world. Only the impulses that conquer you. Do not rush forward. There is still something here for you. Even now, as the world keeps moving, as expectations press in from every side, you are allowed to stand still. Inside yourself, stillness is not weakness, it is resistance. Against a world addicted to speed, most people never stop long enough to hear what their soul has been whispering. For years, you are listening now. That is why this feels unfamiliar, uncomfortable. Growth always does. You have been taught that happiness is something to chase, a future moment, a finish line. But the Stoics saw clearly, peace is not found ahead of you. It is built beneath your feet. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Not their number, not their noise, their quality." Notice how many thoughts are not yours, borrowed fears, second-hand expectations, voices of people who are no longer here, yet still live rent-free in your mind. You are allowed to let them go. You do not dishonor the past by refusing to live inside it. Memory is a tool, not a prison. When regret appears, ask it what it came to teach, then thank it, and release it. The mind resists release because it mistakes familiarity for safety, but you already know. What is familiar has also been painful. Courage is choosing the unknown. Over the known misery, Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Be careful with this question. Answer it honestly, not who the world wants you to be, not who fear suggests you must become, but who you respect. When you are alone with yourself, that version of you does not need perfection, only alignment. You will feel resistance, internal friction. That is not a sign to stop. It is a sign you are shedding old skin. Every disciplined choice will feel lonely at first, because it separates who from the crowd, but solitude sharpens perception. You will begin to see how much energy was wasted on proving, pleasing, pretending, and how light life feels. When you stop performing, Seneca observed, he is most powerful who has himself in his own power. Self-control is not restriction. It is liberation from chaos. It is waking up and deciding that your mood will not be dictated by circumstances, that your values will not shift. With every emotional wind, you will still feel anger, still feel grief, still feel desire. Stoicism does not erase emotion. It refines it. You feel, but you do not drown. You acknowledge, but you do not surrender. This balance is learned slowly through setbacks, through reflection, through choosing restraint. When indulgence feels easier, there will be moments when no one understands why you no longer react the way you used to. Let them wonder. Transformation rarely announces itself. It shows up quietly, in calmer responses, in longer pauses, in a steadier breath. Under pressure, one day, you will notice that what once controlled you no longer does, not because it disappeared, but because you changed. Your relationship with it, this is mastery, not domination, not suppression. Understanding, you begin to see life as a series of impressions, and yourself as the one who decides which impressions deserve belief. Epictetus reminded, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This is the law of peace. What is in your power, your effort, your honesty, your character, what is not, outcomes, opinions, the passing of time, Release what is not yours to hold. Clinging exhausts the soul. You will feel lighter when you stop arguing with reality. Acceptance is not defeat, it is precision. It allows you to act clearly, instead of emotionally. The more you practice this, the quieter your mind becomes, not empty, clear, and in that clarity, you will feel something rare. Freedom, not the freedom to do anything, but the freedom to choose wisely. Breathe again. You are not becoming someone else. You are remembering who you were before the world taught you to abandon yourself. Stay with it. There is no need to hurry toward resolution. Life does not resolve itself. It reveals itself, layer by layer, moment by moment. You may notice now that the ache has changed shape, still there, but quieter, less demanding. This is how healing moves, not by erasing pain, but by loosening its grip. You begin to see that much of your suffering was never caused by events, but by the stories you told yourself about those events, stories of failure, of being left behind, of not being enough. Marcus Aurelius warned, external things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them which you can erase right now. Erase does not mean deny, it means reframe. What if this loss was not a punishment? A redirection? What if this loneliness was not rejection, but preparation? What if the quiet you feared was actually space for something truer to grow? You have been measuring yourself with broken rulers, by speed instead of depth, by applause instead of integrity. No wonder you felt empty. Even when you achieved, the soul does not respond to trophies, it responds to truth. There will come a moment, often unexpected, when you realize you no longer need to prove yourself to anyone, not because you gave up, but because you finally arrived. Inside yourself, Seneca wrote, "A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." Notice how much pain came from anticipation, imagining conversations that never happened, catastrophes that never arrived. Your mind traveled far ahead, while your body remained here. Bring it back. Here is where life is happening. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Here, this moment does not ask you to be extraordinary, only present. Presence is discipline. It means feeling boredom without reaching for escape, feeling discomfort without numbing it away. It means trusting that you do not need constant stimulation to exist meaningfully. Most people are afraid of this. They confuse silence with emptiness, stillness with stagnation. But the Stoics knew better. Still water reflects clearly. When the mind settles, you begin to recognize what actually matters: character over comfort, truth over approval, growth over ease. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom is not the absence of limits. It is choosing your limits consciously. You choose discipline because chaos costs more. You choose restraint because excess always demands payment later. This is not self-denial. This is self-respect. You stop asking, "What do I feel like doing?" and start asking, "What kind of person am I becoming?" That question changes everything. You will still stumble, still doubt, still feel moments where the old self pulls at you. That does not mean you failed. It means you are human, walking a deliberate path. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Not cruel, not punishing, strict in commitment, gentle in correction. You are not here to shame yourself into growth. You are here to guide yourself into it, one choice at a time. Some days, the only victory will be not making things worse. That counts. Some days, getting out of bed with dignity will be enough. That counts too. The world celebrates extremes. Stoicism honors consistency, quiet effort, unseen progress, inner alignment. This is how peace becomes permanent, not as a mood, but as a posture toward life. You stop resisting what is and start working with it. You stop demanding guarantees and start offering commitment. You stop chasing control and start cultivating character. In time, you will notice that even hardship no longer feels like an enemy. It feels like a test, and tests reveal what training has built. Breathe again. There is nothing missing here, nothing you need to become. Before you are allowed to be at peace, you are learning how to stand firmly inside uncertainty. That is wisdom, and the path, quiet, steady, uncompromising, continues forward with you.